Well, well, well. Everyone finally went to bed, huh? Everybody finally got tired and sleepy, huh? Yo, shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. This is your homegirl. Uh, Bob Bosa. Yeah, 914, Westchester County, New York, coming to you with another live video. We're still here in South Carolina. Yo, shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. Yo, everybody finally went to bed. Everyone has stopped talking for right now. Everyone. You know, I went to sleep hours ago, right? I went to sleep hours ago. And, you know, before I retired to the bedroom, to my bed, people were still on the YouTube streets talking and holding panels and X, Y, and Z. Yo, shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets, yo. People finally went to bed. People finally took their ass to sleep. Hopefully. Because it's like after 1 o'clock in the morning. But I decided to get up and, you know, I went to Facebook first because Facebook has a bunch of creators over there who are talking about things that people need to hear about. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. It's just so amazing to me. But yeah, I just came back to the YouTube and I see everyone took their ass to bed. All the videos have stopped, right? All the videos have stopped, but it is what it is. Yo, yo, yo. Lonnie went live earlier, right? She went earlier. Because, of course, we got some haters on this app who are talking out of the sides of their neck. And she played one particular video, which she did 3 years ago. I was in the chat then, as I was in the chat today. Shout out to the Empress, Lonnie One Love. And then, of course, after Lonnie went live, other people were live. You know what I mean? Bishop, he was live for a little while. And Sis was live for almost 8 hours. And Sis had a full panel. What were they talking about? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Mm-mm-mm. Hey, what's up, Holly Favorite? What's going on, Holly Favorite? Oh, Breeze. Breeze Omega, what's up? Good evening. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was just on the YouTube streets, seeing who was still up. Panels were still going on. And to tell the truth, I'm kind of glad I'm not a part of the conversation. But we got some people on this app that are really something special. I just couldn't take it anymore, so I had to look at this book. Because now they got a bunch of videos over there that was very interesting. It caught my interest. It really did. And especially about the state of this country. And I hate to say it, but people, we, Black people, our community, we've been here for billions of years. Billions of years. Shout out to the chat. In North America, South America, the Middle East, Asia, Europe, Africa, we were everywhere. Of course, because we're the original people. We are original. No one else is like us. No one else has the same DNA. Nobody. I don't care what kind of name you're wearing, what your last name is, what your first name is. And then I saw some videos where they were talking about the birth certificates, the social security numbers, how your mother signed you over to the state unknowingly just to register your birth. And I was like, what? And I've heard it said before, but I didn't really think too much of it. I didn't think too much of it at all. Hey, what's up, Khadijah? So we got Khadijah in the chat, in the building. We got Highly Favored. We got Breeze Omega. We got Wrath. Yo, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Yeah, man. Hey, everyone sees this avatar, right? You see my avatar? Don't my avatar look like me? My avatar was designed by Khadijah. I got plenty of those designs, but my avatar looks like me. So if I ever have a camera slip, you won't be deceived. We got a woman in the sector who has a avatar of a light-skinned woman, but when she cammed up, she was dark-skinned. Somebody tell me what's going on. Yo, same here, Khadijah. I'm glad everything is well. Yo, we had some snow last night, man, but it wasn't really a whole lot. It really wasn't a whole lot, but I don't mean no harm. I didn't see no buses moving. I didn't see no buses moving today. Not at all. I think I left out of here about 8 o'clock, 8:30 this morning. Yeah. So shout out to the chat, shout out to the YouTube streets. I hope all is well. Good morning, Wrath. I'm sick of this snow. Yeah, man, because the snow just came out of nowhere. We was told that the snow was coming on Friday. So the people I work for said that they wasn't going to be doing anything on Monday. You know what I mean? Because they didn't know how bad the storm was going to be. It wasn't even that bad. I went outside today. The stuff wasn't even iced up. It was still soft under the foot. When you stepped onto the street, onto the sidewalk, onto the curb, wherever you was walking, it was just real slick. And it was melting already. The sun was out all day, so the snow was melting, which was a good thing. You know what I mean? Word. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. I am so glad everyone went to bed. I am so glad. I'm gonna tell you what some of the videos was about. Bishop was doing a video about Kev Low, and everyone knows who Kev Low is. Kev Low is a dweeb that's on YouTube trying to criticize Farmer Nancy. Now, everybody knows who Farmer Nancy is because she's been on YouTube. She's been on social media for a long time. Matter of fact, Farmer Nancy is one of the day one OGs in this sector. Farmer Nancy is trying to raise money to help with the farm situation that she's in because they need more things for the farm because she's getting ready to lease a certain amount of property with a friend of hers. You know what I mean? Shout out to the chat. And some people were criticizing Farmer Nancy. Instead of helping, they were criticizing. And I've always known her to be on the outside doing the work. Even her children are involved with farming. You know what I mean? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. And we got a lot of haters. You know, saying what she's doing. Instead of people saying, look, I don't agree with it right now, or X, Y, and Z, people try to take away from her. You know what I mean? There's enough money on this app and in this sector for everyone to participate in what they want to participate in. And it's okay for you to support who you want to support. But we got clowns like Kev Low criticizing people when basically he's on this app and he didn't build a name for himself. He is riding on the coattails of Kwame Brown. Straight like that. Straight like that. A hater of a woman. Because not too long ago, there was this woman called Beautiful One that just donated to Kev Low. Why did she donate money to him? I don't know. I don't care because I don't care nothing about him. And then he did a video where he put Lonnie's name in the title. So that means that he was in Lonnie's chat looking at what she was talking about. Instead of him typically typing in the chat or hitting the link, he spies. He spies on different YouTube creators because he don't have no real content. He says he washes cars for a living. Okay, do your thing, but stop playing hating on other people, especially people that are not saying nothing about him. I never liked him from day one, from Jump Street. Anybody associated with Kwame Brown, I do not like. And I made that very clear for years. Years and years. Shout out to the chat. Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot of snow. I was so happy we didn't. And I was so happy that it didn't ice up. For real, for real. Yeah, I had to put my thing on all messages because sometimes people will actually type into your chat and you won't see their whatever they're typing. But shout out to Wrath, shout out to Breeze Omega, shout out to Khadijah, Shout out to Highly Favored. And I think I've been on this app for years, for a long period of time. Just like Lonnie said, 3 years ago, I was in her chat. Today, I was in her chat. You know what I mean? Word. So let's go on. So Bishop, he has a very close friendship with Farmer Nancy. So, of course, when people attack Farmer Nancy, Bishop immediately confronts those people. See, Iceberg did a video today that I thought was very disgusting. Very disgusting, because he mentioned whatever she's doing, and they talk about her in a disparaging way. They call her all kinds of names. This woman is a mother, she's a wife, she's a farmer, and she's a veteran, a Navy veteran. And what's really fucking with me is how some of these veterans don't support what Farmer Nancy is doing. She's not hurting anyone. She's not beefing with anyone. She's not attacking anyone, but they seem to want to attack her. And all roads lead back to Kwame Brown. All roads lead back to him. And I'm so shocked and I'm so surprised that we got people on this app call themselves Day One OGs. Day One OGs. And they all have fishbowl memory about Kwame Brown. I don't have a fishbowl memory. I remember very well. I remember when Kwame Brown doxed brown skinned lady. I remember that. I remember how Kwame Brown turned against Queen Regina. I remember that. I remember when Kwame Brown and Tommy Sotomayor was friends at first, and then they fell out. And I remember the things Tommy said about Kwame Brown, his opinion. And I share in the opinion of Tommy Sotomayor about Kwame Brown, because I've watched him over the years. I watched him destroy people. I watched him drag people. I watched him be judgmental. I watched him, a millionaire, comes to this platform only to sit around the everyday working Joe and Jane. And people are so stupid and they're so blinded by him because he's a celebrity. A celebrity of what? Because whatever's in his bank account, it's not in everyone else's bank account. And I don't see them getting anything out of that man unless he chooses to give it to him. I watched Kwame Brown turn against Sister T. So all roads lead back to Kwame Brown. He picked with Farmer Nancy back then. He's picking with her now. He's picking with her now. And anyone that's associated with Farmer Nancy, they find reason to want to fuck with. Just like Kev Lowe had, and I'm going to tell you something, he had subscribed to my channel a couple of months ago. And there was one particular morning I got up and I said something disparaging about him. He typed into the chat. He said, "You talking about me?" I said, "Yes, I'm talking about you because I don't like you. You related to Kwame Brown. I don't know why you're subscribed over here. You need to unsubscribe and don't come back." And I meant it. I meant that. Shout out to the chat. So it is what it is. We got two people in the building. We got 6 likes. We got 2 people in the building. We got 6 likes. Yeah, man. Yeah. So what they're doing to Farmer Nancy in this sector is disgusting. And I don't like it one bit. She's not doing anything to anyone. She hasn't hurt anyone. When I go back into the YouTubes and pull up all her old videos, all of the videos is showing her working on the farm, building fences, planting vegetables, tending to animals, teaching her children the same thing. I remember seeing Farmer Nancy go down to City Hall in her state, in her city, to sit in on meetings. I've seen her do other things to help the community. She's doing the work. There's a lot of people that come onto the YouTubes and they will say, hey, I need people to donate to X, Y, and Z so they can enjoy certain things. But I'm going to tell you guys a story. And I don't know if Khadijah is still in the chat, but a couple of years ago, this was back in 2015, Tanya TKO became displaced because Tanya TKO is from New York. She grew up in New York. All right. She left from New York and went to California. She went to California. She had lost everything. Her bank accounts were frozen. X, Y, and Z was wrong. Going wrong for her at that particular time. At that particular time, Tanya TKO had been on the YouTubes as a creator already 8 years then. This was back in 2015. So what ended up happening was one of her subscribers had suggested for her to open up a GoFundMe. So she established the GoFundMe. I remember her going live every day. But on the 3rd day after the GoFundMe was established and publicized to her audience, she ended up raising $12,000. She ended up raising $12,000. Why? Because of her fan base. Why? Because of her subscribers. Why? Because of her supporters. Why? Because people loved her. Even Tommy Sotomayor had donated to Tanya TKO. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. And basically what she needed the money to do was to, what? Get a new place to live. And while she was in California, she updated and upgraded her channel. Now, of course, you're not going to find any of those videos that she did back in 2015. You're not going to find them because she took them all down. Because I remember when she was in that car. I remember when she was going back and forth to the gym. I remember when she got the gym membership. I remember all that. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the motherfucking chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. We got one person in the building. But I remember that. I remember that very clear and very well. To this day, I still remember. Now, what year is this? Because 2000, we just left 2025. So I'm talking about something that happened over 10 years ago. So now Tanya TKO has been on the YouTubes for a good 16 years. See, now that day one OG. Cynthia G is a day one OG. Carmen Kamboon is a day one OG. Now, I don't call them day ones. I call them the ancient ones, the ancient YouTube creators. Because I remember the YouTube creators from that time also. Keyboard musician, Stupidity Exodus, Genie. Oh, yes. If I go back in my memory, I'll be able to remember every last YouTube creator that was there. And I call them the ancient ones. That's who I call them. See, YouTube was different back then because they didn't have a thing where you could actually hit the link and sit up there with the content creator. It's just like the way this channel is being run right now. Because I'm on what? Vertical. I'm not on the horizontal. I'm not on StreamYards right now. Shout out to the chat. So yeah. And I think what Farmer Nancy is doing is a good cause. I believe in it. I support it. You know what I mean? I want to see her do well. You know what I mean? Word. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. And it really fucks with me to see people give her a hard time. Give her a hard way to go. For what? What's the real reason? And I said it once and I'll say it again. All roads lead back to who? Kwame Brown and his haters. Iceberg, he's messy. He's messy because not only did he mentioned Farmer Nancy today. A couple of weeks ago, what did Iceberg do? He released the DM messages of Just Jay, trying to destroy Just Jay. And I find it very interesting because it seems like certain YouTube creators make it a point to attack the female energy that's in this sector. Females they're attacking. I've spoken on it before. I've done videos about this type of stuff before. And it seems like certain people who hate Kwame Brown are becoming just like him. But let me remind everyone, Soda Nation was here first before any of these groups, before the Kwameite, before We the People, before the Rabbits, before any group. Soda Nation was here first. Tommy Sotomayor is the author. He's the blueprint. He's the architect. A lot of people in the sector want to take his place. But you cannot compare yourself with him at all. You don't qualify. Your application has been denied. I don't know how many times I got to tell people that. But they don't believe me. They don't believe. They forgot of what happened in this sector years ago when Lonnie said, Arabia, and she was pulling up an old video, a video she did 3 years ago in support of Farmer Nancy. I was in the chat then, and I was in the chat today. Why? Because I support the people I support. I ride with who I want to ride with. And sometimes, every now and then, I'll go into other chats, but those things don't interest me. Some of them talking points don't interest me. The video that OSD did today, it doesn't interest me. I like OSD, but him up there talking to that clown Fanici, that weirdo, I'm not interested in listening to. I know all about Fanici that I need to know. Because Fanici has been showing his ass on this app for a whole year before he even fell out with Sis. So I'm surprised Sis didn't see this coming. I'm surprised. But yeah, I do believe that people are just hating on Farmer Nancy for no reason. That's my opinion. That's my stance. That's what I believe, and that's exactly what I'm seeing. And shout out to Bishop for doing his videos over there. You know, I didn't always get along with Bishop until one day Bishop had hit my link. He had hit my link, and we was able to talk, and I never had problems at a Bishop again. I have no Instagram against no one on this app because it takes too much energy. Trust me, it takes a lot of energy to get angry with people that you don't fucking know. It depends on what you do in your real life. In your real life. Because just like I said before, I have a brother who didn't speak to me for years while Birdman was floating around. But as soon as Birdman had passed away, what happens? A few months down the line, who starts trying to talk back to me? My brother. But we had a discussion yesterday that I guess he gonna not speak to me anymore for a while. Shout out to the chat. It don't bother me. I'm 52 years old. Nothing really bothers me too much. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. We got 3 people in the building. We got 6 likes. It is what it is. Yeah, man. I'm so glad everyone that was live went to bed. I'm so glad. I'm so happy everyone went to bed. I'm telling you, man, this sector is something else. It's something serious. I mean, I never seen nothing like this before in my life. Someone says, look, I got a farm that I'm working on. I'm getting ready to lease some land, and I need X, Y, and Z, and people won't support that. But when it comes to some other kind of foolishness, like buying people cars and hot dog trucks, people donate to what they want to donate to. But I really do believe she deserves more support in this sector. And they seem to have a problem with her a couple of years ago because she won $500 in the contest that she entered. She won fair and square. Kwame Brown didn't give her the money. The money was given to her by some lady over some organization somewhere that was running the contest. Farmer Nancy won the contest fair and square, and people can't seem to accept that. They don't want to let go of that. They had an issue then. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous to me. She's a woman. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's a farmer. She's a veteran. And more of the veterans in the sector need to back her. For real, for real. I'm starting to think motherfuckers aren't real veterans. That's what I'm starting to think. Because in real life, veterans stick with veterans. There is no divide. There is no argument. There is no this and that. Veterans stick with veterans. I had a cousin who fought in the Vietnam War. He was a Marine. His name was Albert Dwight Textor. He fought in the Vietnam War, and he was a Marine. And I do remember before the man passed away in 2011, he was very close to a lot of other veterans. He made it an actual point to go to certain organizations or certain places where he knew veterans frequent. Why? Because he believed in networking. Why? Because he believed in supporting other veterans. I remember when my younger sister was in the military. She was in the Army. This was a couple of years ago. And I remember how she is today. And when she gets with other women or other men that are veterans, they're very close. They do a lot of networking. They support each other. They help each other. They don't backstab each other and tell people, oh, don't support this one. I've never heard us to say a negative thing about none of the people that is military men and women, veterans. They didn't stay in the Army more than 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, a lot of them. But they were there, and those that were honorably discharged, they all hang together. Birdman, he was a veteran. He loved to go to where other veterans frequent. He loved to network. I remember him being that way. Shout out to the chat. Anytime he saw someone he was in the military with, hey, how you doing? X, Y, and Z. They'll sit there and talk 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Then next thing you know, they're networking with each other. They supported each other. Shout out to the chat. These veterans that's on this app are shameful. This don't happen in real life. Because veterans usually help each other. They network and they help each other. They support each other. If they can't help each other, then they'll say, look, I can't help you, but I know someone that can. And it's usually another veteran. Riding with them. Shout out to the chat. When I was living in Columbia, South Carolina, this was a couple of years ago. This is when I first got out of prison. I remember there was this group of guys. They were all military men. They were all Army. And I remember they all wore the same jackets, the same kind of coats, the same knit caps, the same kind of gloves. They would all roll together. Shout out to the chat. You never saw them separate. They were homeless, but they were all close. They all worked at the same place, the same spot, making the same amount of money. Shout out to the chat. And I remember them because I remember them being in a group. I remember that. I remember when I was going to the 12-step meetings, how a lot of the veterans would find out, okay, you Army, you Navy, you Air Force, okay, X, Y, and Z. They would start hanging together. They would network together. They would start their own 12-step meetings. They used to collaborate together. They met at NA or AA, and then they would have a Pacific meeting for just them. And then they started their own groups. Being a veteran is very positive and is very good. And I'm talking about people I know in real life, not people I met on the internet. Real life. Shout out to the chat. Hey, good morning, Tamika. Hold on for a minute. We got Khadijah, we got Wrath, Highly Favored, Breeze Omega, and Tamika. Yo, what's up, Tamika? Good morning. I don't know if you had to work this evening, but yeah, I'm gonna be live for a little bit. You know, shout out to the chat. I ain't gonna be up here very much longer though. Oh, okay. Yeah, man. So that is how I see veterans helping each other, not doing videos about each other and saying this and that is a scam and all this other craziness. Shout out to the chat, man. Word. I ain't know these people that's in this sector. I ain't never seen these people before in my life. These people don't exist in real life. Don't exist in real life. An Iceberg is a police officer? If I was him, I wouldn't tell nobody. I don't know why this man going around saying he's a police officer. Why are you telling everybody that you are a pig? That is so stupid. I wouldn't do no bullshit like that. Why? That's the only thing I want to know. Why would you tell people that you are a police officer, Iceberg? That doesn't make any sense to me. You know how people dislike the police? You know how many people distrust the police? I guess he don't remember that song NWA did a couple of years ago. Fuck the police. And then Ice-T did a song called Cop Killer. See, everybody I know that did music on the rap level in the hip hop community, they never talk positively about the police. And I think I've told stories about when I was living in Yonkers, New York, how the police were actually selling guns and drugs to the people in the streets. How they took it upon themselves to go out and extort people. Yeah. So what I'm talking about is police corruption. I'm not saying that Iceberg is corrupt. I'm just saying he got a lot of ways that's very questionable. Very questionable. Shout out to the chat. And I don't got nothing against him. But I just see him and I look at him. And you know what? Bishop asked all the right questions today. Sure did. He asked all the right questions. And I got a problem with the people they're not content creators. They're mostly like, how can you say, they are subscribers, but they behave like trolls. The thing that fucks with me about them, they like to hide behind those fucking letters or a fucking picture of something else that don't look like them. Look at my avatar. That looks like me. Khadijah designed that avatar specifically for me. And I have a plenty other designs that she did. Shout out to her. And all of my avatars look like me. Shout out to the chat. Even you, Tamika, you got an avatar. Your avatar look just like you. Your avatar looks just like you. Look at Lonnie. Lonnie avatar looks just like her. But what I'm saying is that's why a lot of people like to use the avatars that just got the little letters in it and stuff, because that's their way of having an enemy. But I explained the other day how your enemy can be broken by a thing called a camera slip. It's very easy for it to occur or to happen. I think I've had 2 camera slips, but that was okay because people know what I look like. You know what I mean? And then I demonstrated what a camera slip was Saturday morning. Yes, when I got up that Saturday morning, I did the video. I showed what a camera slip looks like. I demonstrated what a camera slip is. And people don't believe that it can actually happen to them. Look at Mr. Oates. Mr. Oates. He had a camera slip a couple of weeks ago. Don't you know I got a picture of Mr. Oates in my phone of when he had the camera slip? Oh, yeah, I keep pictures of people that have camera slips, especially if they're from the other side. From the other side. Yeah, man. Yup. I sure do, Tamika. I got a picture of Mr. Oates in my phone after he had that goddamn camera slip. And right after that, after he had the camera slip, now everybody noticed how he acts now. Now he want to be the good guy. Now talk like he got common sense. But before then, it was F this and F that. Just like Leon. The Leon dude from DC or wherever he's from. That white dude. When he had the camera slip. You know what I mean? And he was trying to go up against me one time. I laugh at you. I laugh. The man talked about my hands. I think I got some nice looking hands. But motherfuckers that worry about my hands, they really worried about my fingers, how thick my fingers are, because my fingers can go up in their ass and hit their G-spot. That's what they really worrying about. Anytime anybody mentions anything about my hands, they look normal to me. You know? So shout out to the chat. We got 3 in the building. We got 6 likes. Yeah, I got to make sure I got it on all messages so I can see everybody when they type into the chat. Yo, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah, man. So, and you know, and that's just my opinion, my thoughts on the whole situation, on the whole situation. Now, when I was on Facebook, I was looking at some very interesting videos where they were talking about people that are Native American and they don't know that they're Native American. Only thing you got to do is look at your birth certificate, and your birth certificate, especially the ones that were born, I'm going to tell you, the ones that were born during the times of Jim Crow, if they look at their birth certificate and they are a Black person, they are African American, they will actually see the words Negro, 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 Negro. They will see that on their birth certificate. And we got a lot of people running around here thinking that their people came from Africa when actually their people never came from Africa. Shout out to the chat. You got a lot of people that are indigenous to this country. Just like my great-grandmother Barbosa. Bertha Barbosa is an indigenous woman from this country. She was born in what? 1897. Her mother's name was Frances. Okay. So that's two of my ancestors I mentioned that are actually Native American, and they're from this country. That's right. Their people didn't come off the boat. She married a man that came here to this country before 1928. He came to this country before 1928. And when he came from Cape Verde Islands, that's located in Northwest Africa. It's not too far from Portugal. And when he came to this country, he had to leave from Cape Verde. He had to go to Portugal to get the right type of paperwork he needed to leave. And then he had to get on a ship and come to America. And when he came to America, he went to Massachusetts. He went to Massachusetts because we have a very large Cape Verdean community in Massachusetts, in Providence, Long Island. Well, Providence, Rhode Island, not Long Island. So I got relatives that live in Boston, Massachusetts. I got a lot of relatives that live in Providence, Rhode Island. I got a lot of relatives that live in New York, live in New Jersey, live in Connecticut, live in California. And me and my brother, we're stationed here in South Carolina. We've been here for a couple of years. But we acknowledge the fact that, we got Cape Verdean blood in our veins. Shout out to the chat. But I was looking at the Facebook, right? And they was talking about the Social Security cards, talking about the birth certificates. They were talking about the fact that there's a lot of Black Americans running around thinking that they're Black and that their ancestors came from Africa, and that's totally not true. You know what I mean? Word. Like on my mother's side of the family, yes, those people did come on the slave ships. Yes. They did come on the slave ships. Shout out to the chat. Because she said when she did her family research and the background of her family, she found out which part of Africa they came from. And I believe it's the same part because her people were they were part of the Mandinkas. They were Asante. They were part of that. You know what I mean? The real jungle. The real jungle. See, there's different parts of Africa that they're all different. All of them are different. Cape Verde is way different than all them other places. Even though I might have other relatives and there might be other blood line coming through, I don't acknowledge those other bloodlines. I just acknowledge Cape Verde. I don't acknowledge Sierra Leone. I don't acknowledge none of them other places. I just acknowledge Cape Verde. That's all I care about. Shout out to the chat. So yeah, man. So we just covered all that, but they did. I'm gonna put it like this: they're telling people to, I guess, apply. It's some way you have to do it where you can reclaim what was stolen. If you can reclaim what was stolen from you, you don't have to pay any taxes. It's certain other things that you get once you find out how your blood is situated in this circumstance, because a lot of Native American tribes were reclassified not as being Native American, but being Negro, black. You know what I mean? Word. And they really put the pedal to the metal when that racist president, Woodrow Wilson, was in the fucking White House. It's a lot of things that this country has done, and they know they owe big time. You know what I mean? It's a certain way that they're saying that people can find out. I've heard Queen Regina, excuse me, say that people need to do the DNA thing or whatever the case may be. But just like I explained to some people, you could be doing this and that, but you have to remember that this country wanted to kill off all the Native Americans that they could. And those that they did not kill, what they did, they went to the homes of some of these tribes and took the children. They removed the children. They placed the children in the residential boarding schools. And they told the children, look, we're going to cut your hair. We're going to change you into Western wear. We're going to have you not speak your own language. And that was one of the ways they tried to erase the Native American, because they couldn't kill all of them like the way they wanted to. See, if this country, if the evil people that runs this country now, because they're all still in existence. All these families still exist that did all this evil. Shout out to the chat. They did all this evil to these people, to us, to our ancestors. And one of the things, one of the women on one of the videos said they replaced the altars with television sets. And I started thinking about it. I said, you know what? That's right. That's absolutely right. You know what I mean? Because I don't remember seeing an altar anywhere. Not in that house I grew up in. Not nowhere else. The only way I knew about building any altars is when Dr. Umar came on the YouTubes and he had mentioned that, and he had told people how to do it. And I remember my biological mother doing that. She built an altar in her own house. Shout out to the chat. And it was all names of her ancestors, the ones that she knew about. And then, of course, she got onto the phone and, talked to a few other relatives and stuff. And she was telling me about the family reunions. But I find it very interesting that everyone talks about family reunion. But before you go to the family reunion, they want you to pay a certain amount of money to even attend the family reunion. I said, look, I've been separated from y'all for a long period of time. When me and my brother come to these family reunions, we shouldn't have to pay no money. Y'all should be paying us. Why? And that's what fucks with me. That's what fucks with me about finding these people, because now they want you. And my mother, I'm putting my mother in this boat because my father wasn't like this. My father was a giving person. My father gave me money. My father would visit with me. My father would talk on the phone with me. Okay, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. I watched my father breathe his last on this earth. I didn't birth him, but I was there as he was breathing his last. Okay, I was there. And I just find it very interesting that people that didn't do nothing for you when you were growing up, matter of fact, they help the enemy try to destroy you. Now they want you to turn around and give them and provide for them. I'm not forgiving nobody. I'm not providing for you. I don't owe you a dime. You owe me. Shout out to the chat, if that makes sense to anyone. I'm not paying to go to a fucking family reunion with a bunch of strangers, a bunch of people I don't fucking know. And those that do know me, they're going to pretend that they don't fucking know me. And they expect me to pay $200 for this and a certain amount of money for X, Y, and Z. I told them, let me tell you something. I said, well, me and my brother, if we ever decide to go to any of these family reunions, guess what? We're not paying a goddamn dime. You won't see not one red cent. Why should we have to pay? It don't make no fucking sense. Fuck the family reunions. Fuck them family reunions. Fuck all that bullshit. Y'all should be paying us now. Ain't nowhere in the world me and my brother should be having to ask nobody for nothing. The family should already give it. They responsible. We got older relatives that are in place. They got a little bit of money. I don't give a fuck. They should be paying us something. At least once a year or twice a year. I don't give a fuck. That's the way I feel about it. And believe it or not, I got a lot of relatives, right, who said, well, we didn't know that, you and your brother, we didn't really know. But then later on, they be like, yeah, we knew because X, Y, and Z. I said, okay. Fix your boat. Fix your boat. This might sound shameful. I share my Cash App to everyone. $Arabia 914, especially with those people. Yeah. And yeah. Yeah, I ain't got no shame. Fuck having shame. You knew about all the evil and you don't want to pay that one dime to alleviate the evil. So you agree with the evil. You agree with people trying to destroy us. You agree with it. Right now I got an aunt, right? She lives in New Rochelle, New York. This is my father's sister, my father's younger sister, right? And matter of fact, out of all the children my grandmother had, she's the only one that's still living because everyone else had passed away. Now, when Aunt Ernestine was living, I loved Aunt Ernestine. I love me some Aunt Ernestine. You couldn't tell me nothing about my chocolate baby. You couldn't tell me nothing. But you know what? I'm going to tell y'all something. Before Aunt Ernestine had passed away, right? She kept visiting her doctor, her medical doctor. And she came to me one day and she said, Arabia, I just want to tell you before anyone else tells you. She was having a lot of problems with her heart. The same thing that killed great grandma Barbosa was killing Aunt Ernestine. Heart problems, heart complications, things that she knew she couldn't stop. Even though she had changed her diet, she had stopped smoking cigarettes, all that. She came to me, she said, I'm going to tell you before anybody else tell you, I'm dying. The heart is weak. It's not doing what it needs to do. And sure enough, she died in 2018. And when they found her in the house, because the people came home, my brother and my cousin. They came home, they called for her. She never answered. They went into her bedroom. She was laying on the bed and she was gone. So that meant that she died alone. Shout out to the chat. Great Grandma Barbosa died in her kitchen. She didn't die alone. She just, clutched herself and collapsed. My great grandmother was 52 when she passed. She died in 1949. Aunt Ernestine was 69 years old. She passed in 2018. So, shout out to the chat. And, I got my own primary. They say the same thing is happening to me. But, hey, I'm going to enjoy my life and I'm not going to let nobody make me miserable. You ain't going to make me happy. You ain't going to make me sad. You ain't going to make me angry. You ain't going to make me miserable. Whatever heart problems I'm having is there. It's not going to go away. I'm not going to sit here and pretend, hey, oh yeah. No. Hopefully I'll outlive everyone. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. But no, I don't see me paying no money to go to a fucking family reunion. I don't see any reason why I should have to pay. I don't see any reason why my brother would have to pay. I don't see any reason. Not at all. I don't care if me and him don't never speak. I don't see us paying any money towards anything for this family. I don't. It's not necessary. Why should we pay? We shouldn't. All the shit we suffered through, I don't think we should pay a dime to this family for anything. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. And right after Aunt Ernestine had passed away, my younger brother, he also passed away. You know what I mean? Heart complications. But he had too much on his plate because after Aunt Ernestine had passed away, What he did, he said, "Uh-oh, he better step up his game." And he took over her house. He took over the payments. He just took over. And from what I understand, he did a beautiful job. He did a very beautiful job. And then his heart gave out. So, and I think about him every now and then. I think about him. Young man, beautiful. 6 feet 3 inches. That man was a tall man. Tall just like his great grandfather. Shout out to the chat. Or should I say his grandfather? Yeah, Grandpa Smith. Not the great grandfather, but Grandpa Smith. See, this great grandfather, Barbosa. Then you got Grandpa Smith. That's on my father's side. Then on my mother's side, you got Grandpa Henry and Grandma. Oh, I know her name, but I'm not going to say her name. Don't speak the names of everyone. Everyone. You know, my grandmother used to have a bird, right? It was an African gray. And I told y'all that my grandmother used to be a Jehovah's Witness. So there was one particular day, I was sitting in her house, I was visiting with her, and she had said something negative about my mother or something. And she looked at the bird. She said, "Ain't that right, Smitty?" And Smitty looked at her, and then Smitty started singing. And you know what the bird was singing? Jehovah, Jehovah loves everyone, everyone. Jehovah, Jehovah, Jehovah loves everyone, everyone. I said, the bird started singing. The bird sang, the bird blew kisses, the bird whispered, and the bird, it mimicked my grandmother perfectly. Had her voice down, everything. Shout out to the chat. After my grandmother passed, I don't know what happened to Smitty after that. I don't know what happened to Smitty. And nobody has mentioned anything about Smitty. I might ask one of my cousins about Smitty, but they'll probably tell me the bird passed away. That bird was with my grandmother for 25 years. 25 years. And it was a female. And that thing was something serious. That she loved to fly all through the house. She loved to sit on top of her cage. She liked to go to bed at a certain time at night. But that thing was smart as fuck. My grandmother actually thought she was going to get away with saying something negative about somebody. And the bird chimed in. Jehovah loves everyone. Shout out to the chat. We got 4 in the building. We got 7 likes. Yeah, man. I mean, I can go on and on, but I'm not going to be up here much longer. I just wanted to come through and say good morning to my people. Good morning. Habari, Zahasaburi, Karibu, ni umbani. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Yeah. Twendi zetu. Kuja na mimi kula chakula miji baridi. Kuvuta kiti kachini. Unakaribishwa. Kumpumzika. Kumpumzika. Unakaribishwa. Jifu rahishe. Jifu rahishe, my people. Yeah. Shout out to y'all. Good morning to y'all. Good morning to y'all. Thank you for coming, and I thank you for visiting this channel. Welcome to my house. You are welcome. Karibu ni umbani. You are welcome in my home, in my house. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my chat. Yeah, Lonnie said it best. She said, Arabia, you was in this chat 3 years ago, and Arabia, you're in this chat today. How many of my YouTube creators can actually say that? How many? How many of them can? No, I'm talking about all the other YouTube creators I'm subscribed to. Can they say, look, Arabia was in this chat 3 years ago? And then look up today and say, Arabia is in my chat today. How many? Cream Gina can probably say it. Sister T can probably say it, but they can't say Arabia been with us 3 years. No, they would have to say Arabia been with us a year, maybe 18 months. I don't know how long. I don't know how long. Shout out to the chat. Sister T can probably go back through her old videos and say, damn, 2 years ago, Arabia was here. Arabia's here today. Queen Regina probably say to herself, oh yeah, Arabia was here 2 years ago. She's here today. Sis probably the only one that can say it. Arabia was here 3 years ago. Arabia's not in the chat today. Moonlight can probably say, well, Arabia was here 6 months ago, maybe a year ago. Arabia's here today. Vince the Sniper, when he had his channel up and operational, he probably said, you know what? When I first started this channel, or like a little after that, Arabia was here, and Arabia's here today. How many? Farmer Nancy can say, Arabia was here 3 years ago, and Arabia's here today. Just like I can look in my chat and see Khadijah. Khadijah was here long time, and she's here today. Tamika was here. She's here today. But I didn't realize I had been sitting with people that long. Time really flew by real fast. 3 years. Wow. 3 years ago? Jesus. We got 4 in the building. We got 7 likes. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Yeah. And I thought about it because when Lonnie said it, at first I was like, when she said it, I started laughing. I wrote the little smiley emoji in the chat, and it was laughing. And I thought about it, and I said, yeah, she's telling the truth. I was there 3 years ago, and I'm here today. Wow. When I asked Keep the Change a month ago, I said, Keep the Change, how long have you been knowing me? Keep the Change told me 3 years. I said, Keep the Change been that long? She said, yes. I said, oh, excuse me. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Just Jay. She's just started going live, right? Doing her videos. I'm probably a day one over there with Just Jay. You know what I mean? I don't know how long I've been subscribed to her, but I've been subscribed. Mrs. V, same thing. Raph, same thing. Yeah. Shout out to the chat. But yeah, you guys, I guess that's it for this evening. or I should say early this morning. Now I got me some phone calls I got to make today. I know that people say they wasn't going to be working on Monday, but they gave us a repeat ticket, so I don't know. I don't see me going down to the office today. Because I did text my boss, but she never texted me back. So I'm going to text her this morning before 6 o'clock. Shout out to the chat. All right, you guys. I guess that's it. It's over. I'm getting a little tired myself. Shout out to Tamika. Shout out to Wrath. Okay, let's do roll call before we end. So we got Tamika in the building, Khadijah, Highly Favored, Wrath, and Breeze Omega. Breeze Omega, yo, shout out to Breeze Omega. For real, for real. He's been doing his videos, and I appreciate him coming over. I appreciate everyone coming over. I appreciate everyone visiting me. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for coming over. Thank you for visiting with me. Stay safe out there, everyone. And shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to the replay. Shout out to everyone that supports my channel. Shout out to my YouTube creators. Shout out to my subscribers. Shout out to my support team. Shout out to my moderators. Yo, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. I'm closing out this video, but I'm not closing out my thoughts or my opinions or my point of view. That's never going to close. Shout out to the chat, though. I hope y'all have an awesome week, an awesome day. For those of us that got the snow, please be safe driving in the snow or walking in the snow or anything like that. Shout out to you. Be safe. Be smart. Be vigilant. We are now in tax season. Today is February, I guess, the 2nd. This is our second day in the Black History Month, and this is also tax season. So, for those of you who have been working hard all year and you're thinking about filing your taxes, file the taxes and, do what you need to do for you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to all my people that are working. Shout out to all my people that are unemployed. Shout out to everyone. Everyone. Smitty! Rest in power, Smitty. Rest in peace, Grandma and Aunt Ernestine and Daddy and everyone that has passed away. Yo, rest in power, rest in peace. Yeah, I think about them. Yo, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the YouTube streets. We out. One, peace. Thank you, Tamika. You too. Wrath, you too. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, shout out to Wrath and shout out to Tamika and Khadijah for coming in and moderating. Shout out to y'all. All right, peace. One.